Good, good. Just got done making the men's bracket, making my picks there. Now we'll get ready for the women's bracket, as they call it.
Well, this will be good. So the men's is done.
Yep.
It's 7:00 here live Central Time. Today's March 13th. It's a special Sports and Songs podcast live stream event, and this is out to the public. We've got the chat line open if you want to chat, ask any questions. We can also send this out to share if anyone wants to share it, but it's going to our YouTube account right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're on ESPN. Andy's in his studio. I'm in my studio. We have ESPN on. The women's bracket announcement is going to be coming on here in about 2 minutes. And we're going to provide comments and feedback and a commentary, basically on all the picks, all the selections, all the brackets as they're revealed. And then when they cut to commercial, we'll provide some analysis, and then we'll just stay on live here for the full hour.
Yep. Not going to do the NIT one, just the regular one. And if this ends up early and they're just doing their rehash of their picks, we'll just give you our rehash and our picks. So,
and you're talking men's or women's?
The women's here. When they're all done, if they get done all this, that's 45 minutes later.
They'll do the NIT following this. I think 8 p.m. Central Time. They'll announce the NIT picks. We're not going to do that. We'll do this one first.
Yep.
We'll cover that though on our normal weekly show. But this will be a live broadcast for the listeners, for the fans here of the show, to get our picks here and what we think, what our thoughts are on the 2022 bracket.
I remember I've always kind of done the women's bracket too, going back as far as I can remember, when I'd get, the sporting news in the mail every week, filled out the women's bracket and the men's bracket. And I remember the women's bracket to start with, it was only like 16 teams and that was it. Back in the day. And now they're up to 68 or 66 like the men are?
68. I think both women's and men's are now 68. And so they'll do the brackets, announce it. Everyone will get their brackets out, submit their brackets for the fantasy. Those first games on Tuesday and Wednesday for the men's really don't mean anything. But Thursday it officially begins, and it goes through the weekend of the first April weekend.
And the finals for the women are here in the Twin Cities.
Yes, that's going to be fun. Target Center is going to host those final semifinal games and the championship game, but it's on now. Any other comments, Andy, here before we get underway?
I looked through the history stuff. The top four shouldn't be a big surprise. The number one seeds shouldn't be a surprise. I'm just kind of looking where teams like where's Iowa get placed, who won theirs, and will they be a top seed or not?
They're a team that I'm going to be looking for as well, the Hawkeyes, with Caitlin Clark, Monica Sonano, and
the whole cast. They got a really good team. Monica coming back for a fifth year next year. Iowa made the Final Four, I believe, last year. They're going to make some noise this year. So it's going to be exciting, I think. They're going to be a fun team to watch. Even if they don't make it far, Iowa's just a fun team to watch. They keep it simple and fundamental.
High scoring. It's a fast-paced group.
Yep. Yeah, there's South Carolina. South Carolina's gonna be a tough team this year. They're kind of the number one. They're there. South Carolina's the one seed, and here at the Gals, they'll play in South Carolina. The higher seeds kind of get home court, and they'll play the winner of a play-in game, which is kind of the advantage of being the number one seed. You get those games.
Correct.
I think South Carolina could probably beat the Gopher men's team, to tell you the truth. They're that good. So
they probably could. Now, in the men's, it was how many teams went? 9 teams of the Big Ten?
9 of the Big Ten, yeah. 9 of our 14.
So they got their South Carolina 29-2 going up against Howard versus the Incarnate Word, whoever the winner of that play-in game.
There's Miami and South Florida for the 8-9 game. That game will be in South Carolina. So it'll be a fun game there. Miami, 20-12. South Florida was 24-8. 8-9 games are always, who knows? That's the best matchup you're going to get. They're both. I was
looking at that for the men's. The statistics of the win-loss record is literally 50-50.
Arizona, the 4 seed against the Rebels of UNLV. Arizona's kind of a sleeper team. Them and South Carolina will be a good game when they match up. In the perfect world, everybody does what they're supposed to. That will be a fun game to watch there. And there they are, Carolina and Stephen F. Austin. North Carolina, the 5 seed. Tar Heels are in, baby. Weren't the men a 5 seed also, I thought, in theirs? 4 or 5? But so North Carolina, both men and women make it. Congratulations to them.
Yes.
Saturday in Arizona, where those games are going to be. As you see, Arizona was the 4 seed, so they'll host that bracket. The 4-13 and the 5-8 games are hosted.
And once again, the best part, Andy, for me is single elimination. Anything that's single elimination,
Iowa State against the University of Texas Arlington. Iowa State hosting, they're a 3 seed, the Cyclones.
Yeah, they're a team to watch.
Yes, they're fun too.
The Cyclones.
Yeah, the Cyclones were an at-large bid. They get a 3 seed. Very nice. Oh, Dayton and DePaul for the play-in game. That should be a good game. And then Georgia being the 6th seed. Georgia Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
They'll be all coming up. Georgia will be coming up north here to Iowa, so enjoy the trip, ladies. Bring your sweaters.
Yes.
And then Dayton and DePaul should be a pretty good game. That should be a good matchup there.
Yes. The Dayton Flyers, right?
Yes. Yep. All the Hawks got a 2 seed in Iowa City, hosting Illinois State. Iowa's a 2 seed. I'm very surprised they're that high.
Well, they came on strong. They won the conference. They won the tournament.
Yep. There they are. Now they saw it in the tape play.
There we go.
Yeah, so they're going to have a nice draw sitting at a 2 seed. That should be good for them. And of course, they're at Iowa City there too, so they'll play their games there.
Colorado. They'll get a heavy dose of Caitlin Clark.
Yes. Colorado and Creighton. So Colorado's not a bad team. 7 seed's kind of low for them, I think, but I thought there'd be a 5 or 6. I'm a little biased on that team, though, so I can't. I admit it. I'm biased on the Colorado team.
The Buffaloes going against the Creighton.
I thought they'd be a little higher. And there is this the Greensboro region. That's where the finals for that will be. But so that could come down to Iowa and South Carolina on that side of the board. In your upper left or your left side bracket there. Iowa 2 seed. That's pretty interesting. I think that's gonna be kind of fun watching them. None of these games are easy. That's why you play them.
Yeah.
You're a 2 seed. You're in the final four.
You can see some blowouts in this first round. You can see Iowa put up 100 points in this first game. You can also see them, win by 2. Who knows?
And the thing is you don't want to get cocky and rest Monica and Caitlin.
Correct.
You want to keep them loose. If you get too high, maybe you set them down for half of the floor to prevent injury, but you don't want to get cocky and not play them at all. You don't want to, be rude to put your foot on their throat and keep going. Don't get me wrong. But if you're up by, like against the Gophers, you're up by 50 going into the fourth.
That's a different story.
Yeah. So if they get, and that's just respect for the other teams. You get that high, you just put the other halves in. But if it's within 10 to 15 points, you'll see the starters stay in there because a couple threes and a foul, you're right back in it.
Correct.
So unless it's a 20-point lead, and this is for the 1 through 4 teams, really, 1 through 4 seeds that first round. Unless you're, Iowa 23-7. Caitlin 24 points a game. Monica 21 points a game. So there's 48 points right there between the two of them on average this year.
Well, that's the scoring. If you look at the stats for that Iowa team, it's those two putting up big chunks, and then a good contribution from the others. But boy,
North Carolina State Wolfpack will be the number 1 seed in the Bridgeport region, playing the Longwood Mountain St. Mary's winner. North Carolina State's been a top 5 team all year, so they're good. They earned that seed.
Yep.
Sometimes you see a team get a 1 or 2 because they back in because everybody else fell apart. No, they earned their 1 seed.
Correct. NC State.
Okay. Washington State, the Cougars, and Kansas State.
K-State.
Yep. Yes, the Cougars and the Wildcats. 2 19-win teams. Decent seasons. And these are the ones where for these schools like this too, or any school really below a 9 seed, this has got to be great for your recruiting too. Hey, you made the tournament.
Yep.
Making progress.
The big dance always helps.
Oklahoma 24-8, 4 seed. So they IUPUI. Oklahoma, they're the 4 seed. They'll have a good matchup. That's no handover team right there. They got that. That should be a good game. So as Oklahoma comes out, sticks to what they know, they'll be just fine. And Notre Dame and UMass. Notre Dame, UMass, that's going to be a good game too. UMass kind of can't trust them. You never know what's going to be.
Never know at this, yep.
Yeah. 5-12 is just for any, both of them, that's just. And then Norman, Oklahoma, so we'll be down there. All right. Bottom half of that break. Indiana with the 3 seed against Charlotte. Indiana 3, I don't know. That's a good seed for them or not. Kind of bumped at the end there, but I thought I guess is okay. I wasn't sure where they'd go.
Indiana.
Charlotte 22-8. They're all excited there. Conference USA champ and the Big Ten at large. These games are in Bloomington, so Indiana's the higher seed. Kentucky and Princeton.
And you may see upsets here at this 3 versus 14.
And now I don't know about the women. I heard them talk about the men. Same thing. COVID protocol. If a team gets sick and they're out, there is backup teams in reserve to come in.
Yeah, the men's there's 4 listed. I think they do the same thing for the women's. There's 4 backup teams.
Yep.
Princeton against Kentucky. Princeton 24-4.
Princeton could upset them there.
The Ivy League champion.
And the SEC champ. The conference champions there.
This is all Bridgeport, Connecticut here.
Yeah. UConn, the 2 seed against Mercer.
That'll be another one to watch. Now,
UConn coming back to win the Big East tournament.
Paige Becker's healthy now, so that should be interesting.
I didn't know if they'd make it up to a 2 seed. If they'd maybe stick them at a 3, I didn't know but they did win the championship, so that helped.
I think they ended the season in such a roll that they earned a 2 spot.
So right around the number 10 ranking all year round, so I didn't know.
Yeah, correct. There were 7.
Central Florida.
I think they finished at 4th now.
Yep.
A Florida matchup there.
All up in Connecticut. There 2 Florida teams playing up in Connecticut.
25-3. That a record for Central Florida is unreal.
Yeah, and they're a 7 seed. Again, I don't care what classes you're playing. You're 27-3. That's a darn good season.
Yeah, going up against the Gators.
Bridgeport. That's their region there. So we're kind of looking at a UConn NC State matchup if you hold the form. But NC State, I don't know. Yeah, they're the 1 seed, but I'm not putting all my 1 seeds in the Final Four either for the women.
Yeah, you can't do that.
UConn at 2 seeds. The top 5-6 teams are just too good to just because it used to be you just put the 1s and 2s in the final 8 because that's the way it was. But competition and the teams have just got so much better. They are more competitive.
Now we'll be doing a we'll be doing the bracket for the men's online for the players to pick and the fans to go on and pick.
Yep.
Not for the women's though, right?
Nope, just the men's.
We
We'll
can
see
put
what
on
the
our
men's
paper
go.
sheet brackets for the women's, but the men's will be online and that'll be posted. Will that be posted tomorrow, Andy?
It's right now on our Facebook page.
It is.
Yes.
So we can send out invites then using the link.
Yes.
People can sign up. It's open to men, women, kids, teenagers, adults, whatever it is. We're wide open. We don't do a money payout here at Sports and Songs, Andy, but it's more for bragging rights.
Well, it's kind of a money payout one because it's through Yahoo, and if you're in a Yahoo one, you can win that, but not winning our pick'em, you won't win any money. No.
So that's going to be out there.
$25,000 Yahoo pick'em thing.
Now,
nothing.
How many entries can we put in?
As many people as they want in there.
No, how many entries per person?
One per email address.
One per email address. That makes sense.
So if you want to be one of those guys that go with 18 different email addresses to put in there, God bless you. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Now, except for those who are members of the Sports and Songs family page, fan club page, who pay their monthly fees, you got your link sent to you earlier directly, but the rest of you have to Facebook page, yes.
All right.
There's ahead of time.
They've cut to a commercial now, so we've got the first half done of the brackets, the entire side. 2 regions are complete. We've got 2 more to go. Now, how about Minnesota and the rest of the Big Ten teams? Will those Big Ten teams
we lost the first weekend of the girls' tournament.
So the women Gophers won't, but we'll see. Boy,
Michigan teams in there. I think
Michigan we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I just, the Gopher women, now you bring it up, they were one of the 4 bottom teams that had to play that first weekend of the Big Ten tournament. Lost. So what do? They give the coach an extension. I don't understand that logic. Yeah, those other teams that had 20-something wins missed the tournament and fired their coach. So
it's all.
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
It's all in the perception.
But like I said, the Final Four is here in Minnesota. Tickets. There's a few tickets still left for that, if that's your thing.
And those are expensive. Those are going to go fast, and they're going to be high-priced tickets to attend any of those games. Now, some people are going downtown just to take in and not go to the games itself, but just hang out downtown to take in.
There's going to have concerts and other events down there. I'm sure they're going to have little museums like they have when the other tournaments come here, see the trophy. I know at one time for the men's tournament when it was at the Metrodome back in the day, I don't know if they'll do this for the women. Open it up. You can buy a ticket to go and watch practice the day before if you want. So keep an eye open for stuff like that.
Well, yes, I did see something like that already out there that you can go to an open. You can get a ticket for open practice and watch some of the teams shoot around and practices that are going on there on the Target Center floor. Not actually the game, but they will open it up for various things like that.
Watch practice. Shadow's very excited. The Cougars made it. Cat teams are involved. Shadow's very happy for that. He just wants to express his opinion there.
Now, the thing that's been interesting, Andy, I know it's not basketball related, but football with all the trades.
Yes.
Now baseball being shoved out, and then now the lockout is over. All this activity going on. It's been a whirlwind all weekend.
Yeah. Fun weekend for if you got any of those updates from your sports lines on your phone for CBS Sports or Fox Sports.
Blowing up.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep. Congratulations. Going back to the men's side, Wyoming Cowboys didn't make it on a play-in game, so congrats to those. They lost in their finals for the conference tournament, but they did seed. Stanford, the 1 seed. And there
we go. Now we're back at the Stanford Cardinal.
Yes. Not Cardinals, Cardinal. I've never figured that one out.
Not plural.
Yeah, a bird. Against the Big Sky champions, Montana State. Pac-12 and Big Sky champs.
Big Sky.
Kansas and Georgia Tech, 8-9 game. 2 at-large teams from their conferences there. Both 20-plus wins.
Yeah, that should be good.
That'd be a good matchup there. I'm also happy that we get to play Stanford next, not North Carolina State or Maybe that's why they're happy.
Now these games all overlap with the men's as well.
Yeah, it used to be different weekends, and now it's all, or it used to be earlier in the week. They're playing on the same weekend. Maryland, the 4 seed in Delaware, the CAA champs.
Maryland, the Terps.
That's a Big Ten team there. College Park, Maryland is where these games will be. Of course, Maryland being the 4 seed. We'll host these teams down there. Big Ten at large. Let's hear it for the Big Ten. VTech and Florida Gulf Coast. 5-12 matchup.
Florida Gulf Coast, yes.
29-2. Again, you're a 12 seed. You're 29-2 in the ASUN conference, but you know what? You were 29-2. I mean,
yeah, that's no slouch.
Yeah, that's good. That's a competitive team. They may not win. They should be.
They're based in Fort Myers, Florida.
Yes. That neck of the woods there, yes.
VaTech.
Yeah. And, you know, those bottom 4, even Maryland, I can see Virginia Tech or Florida beating them, so there's no walkway out there. LSU and Jackson State. The SWAC champs from Jackson State. LSU at home in Louisiana.
Jackson State.
That's weird when they show that team reaction for the 3 seed. You knew you were in. I want to see the team reaction from the team like when they showed Wyoming for the men who.
Oh yes.
And, you know, that's
watch. Those bubble league, bubble teams in the bubble.
Yeah, they had the cool reaction. Everybody else like, yeah, whatever. You know you're going. You won your tournament. You know you're in. You just wait and see who. You know. Oh, Big Ten at large. Ohio State plays the winner of the Missouri State Florida.
Oh yes, I forgot Ohio State.
So they'll get a team who's already got one game under their belt then. And
Ohio State's one of those teams that could be really surprising also.
Yeah. Or you could be surprised at how poor they play against Missouri State if they win that game too.
Correct.
Texas and Fairfield. Big Ten champs and MAC champs. Oh, they're on their bus on the way back home. Someone who had to charge that phone got to use their connector.
Go Horns.
They are on a plane because they just faced Baylor, so I love this. It's like a tempered excitement because they're suddenly over.
There's the Fairfield gals celebrating that they're in. Congratulations. Again, this is just great recruiting. That they've opened the women's field to 68 teams. They're expanding their
yes.
For recruiting. Utah and Arkansas, the Razorbacks of Arkansas, against the Utes in Austin, Texas.
Utah will take on Arkansas.
So that should be the Utah Utes. I don't have much on the Utes, but Arkansas had a decent season. I'm not expecting a lot out of them. Shadow is not impressed with this matchup either. The Spokane region. I mean, that's where the finals for this bracket is going to be played, is in Spokane. Pretty neat how they come up with these names.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We're not far from it being the Coke region and the Ford region, and the sponsorships in there pretty soon.
Oh yes,
which I would be okay with. The bowl, it's the Capital One announcement show, but you can't sponsor the region.
Yes,
come on. If it could be in Spokane, let it be a company up in that area sponsor it then.
The Doritos.
The Doritos, the Boeing conference or section or something like that.
The Boeing, yes. Starbucks region.
Starbucks region. Yeah, but give them time. Give them time. Everything will have a sponsorship. Yeah, that was part of the baseball agreement. There might be sponsorships on the uniforms in a couple years.
Is that part of it?
That's part in a couple years, yeah.
So not right away, but they'll gradually go into that?
A lot of European sports do that for soccer and that already. WNBA already does it. Why not? If you could, you make a buck, you can make a buck.
Now they're talking sleepers here. Do you have any sleepers picked?
Not yet. Not yet. Like I said, the gals, yes, I'm glad to open up more teams, but there's really not sleepers. There's your top 10, 12 teams, and then, again, not saying an upset won't happen, but it's really hard to put an 11 seed in the Elite Eight and win
Yeah.
bracket. Again, not saying it won't happen, just not my thing.
Not your bag.
The one conference tournament was right out there. Air Force women's team made a nice run in their conference tournament. That would have been kind of exciting if they could have won theirs and made it in. That would have been kind of fun.
Louisville remains the top.
They were Louisville, the 1 seed.
Yeah. They are going to be tough.
Yes.
So I have a 1 seed for the Cardinal and a 1 seed for the Cardinals.
Yes. So don't get those mixed up.
The American East champion. That's a 15 matchup there.
Wow.
The Redbirds. And yeah, they're an ACC at large, and they're a 1 seed. Is that sure how tough the ACC was? They're an at large and got the 1 seed.
Wow.
Nebraska and Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah. Nebraska was another team that was good in the Big Ten.
They are a fun team to watch. They got a couple gals on there, pretty young team. You watch them a couple years, they'll be fun to keep an eye on.
Champion. We've got the reaction from Nebraska. Looks like moving pictures.
Yeah, you think of Nebraska, you think Nebraska.
Zags.
And you have Sierra Walker. Nothing in the third. So there it is.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee and Buffalo in the Knoxville, Tennessee region. That large in the MAC champs, Buffalo. They'll be going down to Woodhull, Tennessee.
The Vols.
And there they are. They're all celebrating. See, they kept their fans behind. Some teams are in the empty stadiums. But at least have their family there or store.
Jumping up and down. Return of the MAC. If you
Yep, the Buffalo.
At large team Tennessee. Yeah, Oregon and Belmont. At large and the Ohio Valley champs.
Let's move on to the Wichita.
Yeah.
5-12 matchup, and it will be
Maybe when I was younger and I was trying to get into sports,
taking
I always thought
PC champion
if of the 32 automatic bids for winning your conference tournament,
at large.
that should be the top 32 seeds.
Correct.
I think. You want a tournament, you should get in. Some of these teams won a tournament, they still got to play a play-in game again to get in. They may not won my tournament. You know?
Ducks. Yeah, it's interesting how that is. 32 automatic bids from the tournaments,
Yep.
from the conferences, and then 32 at large.
And there's Michigan and American. Michigan's a 3 seed. 3 seed for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's a team. You know, when Iowa took them out,
Yep.
that could be another team to watch.
Yeah, they're 22-6 at large. And they got home for the first couple rounds. That should help. BYU and Villanova, the Big East at large.
Big East.
And the WCC at large for BYU.
They faced UConn in the final and got beat by 30 points. But so they're the at large there on the Big East.
And that's how they got to the 11, I bet. Yep. Making that finals help them. And Baylor and Hawaii. Baylor's at 2.
Baylor, yes.
At large at a 2 seed. Baylor Bears and Hawaii.
Number 2 seed Baylor.
Baylor Bears are gonna be a tough 2 seed. I like all the 2 seeds so far. Iowa, UConn, Baylor. I'm liking my 2 seeds here.
Yes.
Liking them. And the Rainbows from Hawaii. The Big West champs.
No, they're the team that just got beat today, right? By Texas?
Yes. And there's Old Miss and South Dakota, the Summit champs from South Dakota.
7-10 matchup. The final game in the Wichita region. That's number 7.
Sodak.
On South Dakota.
Against
So
Old Miss.
These will be good. All these games will be some good ones.
Yes. In the Wichita region. So
This is the 1 week during the work year that production goes way down. Later
Yeah.
half of the week. Thursday and Friday, nothing gets done really.
lots of PTO being used.
But boy, the bars love it because
Oh yeah.
they're filled up all afternoon, all night those days.
Yep. I am loving the 2 seeds here all over the place. It's going to be a fun tournament to watch. And again, a lot of these other games, the 8-9 games, the 5-11 games, you don't follow women's basketball out. They're going to be fun, competitive games to get into, to watch the game, to love the game, to learn the game. These are the ones to watch. Great advertising for their brand, for their recruiting. You know, it's all pluses.
And they also have Maddie Seegers.
And they're not being afraid to go up against the boys for TV time.
Well, yes, that came up earlier today. I wasn't sure about that answer. I was thinking they played
Like
Monday,
Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games to
Yep.
oppose the boys, the men's teams, but now they're putting them all together
Well,
because they've got to get these play-in games out of the way early.
you got enough networks, they'll shell out the money for it. And not everybody gets, for CBS and TBS, it shows the men's. Not everybody gets True TV to watch the bracket, but you get ESPN to watch the gals. So here we go.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's very exciting to see. Like I said, I'm more into the gals for the fundamental of it all, and just going to see a lot more crisp passes. There's only been a couple gals who've dunked in NCAA history anyway for women, so you're not going to see a bunch of highlight reel stuff. If that's what you want. Find TBS and CBS and watch the men if you want to watch those highlights.
Yeah. The other thing is the men's have so much fouling at the end of the game and free throw, one-on-one, bonus. The women's games clip along pretty fast. Sometimes there's only a couple fouls in the first half when you reach halftime anyway by this point. So it's a different game to watch. But boy, if you watch a weekend of women's and switch it over to the men's, the change of pace is very different on how quick the men's game is. But
oh yes,
these should be fun tournaments here this whole weekend. Now, who got dropped out? Are they going to mention here teams that got
the last 4 and the first 4? See, here's all the brackets right here. Yeah, Texas is the other 2 seed there. Yeah, Texas, Iowa. I'm loving my 2 seeds on that one. I really am. I think, like I said, we made the bracket for the men's. It's on the Facebook page. Not going to do it for the women's yet. We just want to see what kind of feedback we get here. If you guys give us that feedback this week, we'll create one and put it out. Don't get me wrong. If there's an interest for it, you let us know. We'll put one out there.
Now, who won it last year? Did we do it for the men's last year, Andy?
No, I was in one. I get my updates on it from the other bracket I was in. We didn't do an official sports and songs one, but we do this year.
So this will be the first one, first annual,
first ever, the inaugural, as we like to call it.
So it's the first one. The champion will have bragging rights for the inaugural men's bracket tournament.
We just want to keep it simple. See how it starts out with just one. See how it goes. If we get good response, then we'll do it again next year. Of course, so maybe we'll add the gals to it, or we'll add the NIT to it. NIT brackets are becoming a big thing to do now too, just because it's a bracket and it gives people.
And that is a crapshoot. The NIT is for those not familiar. It's kind of that second tier of teams who didn't make it or did well in the tournament. conference tournament but didn't make it, or did well in the regular season and got bounced out of their own conference tournament, those next rounds of players of teams will go to the men's NIT, women's NIT. That's also single elimination.
And you'll see a handful of below 500 records there because there's just only so many teams.
Correct.
But they're below 500 because they were 15-16 as a record.
Correct.
So don't poo-poo it too much. Just fair warning if you look at your NITs and looking at it. Yeah,
there's lots of
there, but
lots of 18 and 12 records there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And if you see a 21 team, it's because they're from the smaller conferences. They didn't win their conference tournament. Sorry, that's just the way it bounces. But
you still get the big trophy at the end.
Because that's the thing I don't like about some of these smaller ones. You can win your regular season, but lose a tournament and you're not in the big dance. Now, I heard some people talk about that. And this could go for the women and the men. Over a 30-game regular season, we'll say, you got some mismatches where you got some not so talented teams you're playing. You can get some scab wins. Yeah, you play a hot team when they got a guy who's injured or they just came off of. So you could get some accidental wins and get a half-decent record. Then you do nothing in the tournament. That's where it matters. So, so don't get too excited when you see these guys' records. Go, oh, they had a great record. Yeah, okay, 27-2 is a great record. But if you're 20-9, not so great because you could have had 10, 15 cupcake games in there, because you play in a smaller conference. You're stuck in a region of the country without a lot of teams and your travel's not that great. It is what it is. So don't get too excited when you see a 20-9 team. They're going to give you good competition, but I'm not putting a lot of 20-9 teams in my final 8 either.
What I did like this year, the men's put together the brackets with the seedings for each of the brackets, but alongside of it, they did one at the end of the show that showed the national ranking, where they are nationally.
Right.
To see how the matchups are. And I thought that was interesting to see. We never really get a chance to see that, and so all we're looking at is the 1 through 16 ranking the entire time. But it's interesting to see a 52 seed ranking team against the number 17 seventh team in the nation. You can see it broken down like that. It helps. I think it helps you fill out the brackets maybe a little easier.
And the sad thing is, those aren't the top 68 numbers either.
Yeah, yes, that is true.
You'll see a team with a 74 ranking, and they're in there. Why? Well, they made the semifinals of their conference tournament. They won the conference tournament. So you're going to have those exceptions, but you better have a good reason why you're the 74th or 78th ranked, and you're in the top 68.
Well, there's been talk. Okay, it's back on here. Let's see.
They're just kind of recapping all their teams and who they're picking here.
Okay, just who they're picking.
Yep.
So they've done the bracket. We're done with the bracket. That's complete. We could stand here a little more and talk about our stuff, but there's nothing more on the ESPN that's worth it, I think.
Groups have been announced. They're just kind of going over key players on each team. And
I think what would be fun, Andy, is this. You take the top 68 teams in the nation, rank them top to bottom, have them make the tournament, and seed them appropriately to dump them in. And regardless of how they do in the regular season, regardless of how they do in the conference championships, and see the top 68 teams, the bottom 4 have a play-in, and then we'll see how they actually come out. That would be interesting. It'll never happen, but it would be interesting to see that. So this kicks off here this week. The play-in games are first. Oh, there we go.
There's Caitlin.
And the play-in games are first. Everything's single elimination. It takes 3 weeks to complete this whole process, playing 2 games a weekend.
Yeah, there's all your top 4 seeds in each one.
You know there's going to be a Cinderella. We just have to wonder who it is. You know there's going to be a huge upset. You just got to wonder
what's going to happen,
who it could be. So on the right of the screen there, you can see you can follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, blog, and right here on YouTube as well for other shows. We've got weekly shows that we do, and also bonus episodes, short mini episodes during the week that Andy and I both do that you can get caught up on at that point. Any other comments here for the show, Andy?
No, just like I said, with the women, we talked about earlier one thing about upsets. They always said during the season, this seed was upset. I'm not a big fan of that word upsets because their team beat you. I don't consider a 9 beating an 8 an upset. That's
correct.
But if a 12 beats a 5, is that upset? and tournament reasons, I say no, because you're in the tournament. You deserve to be here. It's an upset on paper if you follow it, but when the first 4 lose that first day, that's an upset. The rest, it's all just you throw them against the wall and see where they land.
Correct.
So we'll see how it goes here. Very excited. Like I said, the Final Four will be here in the cities. I'm not going unless I win tickets. I ain't gonna pay that money for it to go. Sorry. Love you guys.
I looked at that as well. I thought that would be kind of fun, but I'd rather watch it on TV. It's going to overlap with the men's.
Might go downtown to do some of the stuff, but I ain't gonna go to the games.
Yeah.
Practice would be fun to watch, depending on who's here and what's going on. It's gonna be local gals. If Iowa makes it, Monica's in town, local gal. UConn makes it, Paige is in town. It's be kind of fun to watch, see how that goes. That would be fun. The way they're set up, it could be Iowa against UConn.
Oh, that would bring put some seats in the crowd.
Locally, Channel 4 would lose their mind. They what was it the kids say? It'd be
Yes. True. All right, well, that's all I've got. Anything more for you for closing thoughts, Andy?
No. Just like I said, if you guys are interested and you want a bracket made up, let us know. We'll put one out there. But as of for now, it's just the men's bracket.
Yeah, we may even plan on doing it for next year to phase in, and then possibly there's interest this year, but more than likely it's going to be just the men's this year. But we'll see what kind of interest there is. I've done a bunch of midweek shows on the women's basketball, so we've covered that. You and I have covered a lot of the women's. So there might be interest.
I'm going to make my own bracket just to keep along myself, but there'll be nothing associated with the show.
Awesome. All right, sounds good. Have a good week. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.